Arnie just had an issue.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah,
Let me not jinx it.
they stabilized it. Oh, maybe not. That's Arya's host. And the other one is something with
Not regulated.
but they're he was thoroughly involved with that.
Family and friends, as we gather here today to remember Mark and to celebrate his life, before we begin, we ask that everyone take a moment to make sure that your cell phones are either on silent or vibrate. To begin our services today, the United States Air Force is here to render their funeral honors to Mark for his honorable, faithful, and courageous service to our country. And following that, Rabbi Label Morrison will lead us in prayer. Thank you.
President of the United States Air Force, and our grateful nation, please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for the level of time. Thank you, sir. I'm so sorry.
Thank you very much. Very heart-moving ceremony. As Mark's service to our country. I'd like to read the following psalm. Song of David, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not lack. God causes me to lie down in lush pastures. God leads me beside tranquil waters. God restores my soul and guides me in righteous paths for God's name's sake. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For you are with me, your scepter and staff, they comfort me. They prepare a table before me in full view of my adversaries. You have anointed my head with oil, and my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord the length of days. I want to say that I had the privilege of meeting Mark and his wife, and
Just a folks in the back here.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to using a microphone, but I just want to say I had the privilege of meeting Mark and Judy, and I just want to tell you from what my feelings were. Such a positive mindset of a person, such a dynamic force. From listening to his telling me what he's been through and what he's doing, you see wherever he goes, he sizes up a situation and he brings out the resources in it. Whether it just be like a vacation, he figures out exactly who he should visit, what influence he should have on the people, how he should bring out the best in the people. Whether it be in business, coming into a place, he looks at the situation and he's brilliant for his innovation of what he finds to make something out that didn't exist before, with the insurance in Canada, with all the other business interests he's been in. His whole mindset of helping people, just amazing. With the angel flights, he had a resource dealing with planes, that he flew planes, and he then took that and made it for goodness. Everything he did for goodness. Mark is not just a person, he's a dynamic, he's a mindset. And this is what lives on through us. You know, when something goes out very fast, and it was much too abrupt, what happened, you feel a lacking, you feel a thirst for continuing on his legacy of bringing out the good in everything, sizing up a situation, seeing what components are, seeing what resources are, and seeing how to bring the best in that situation. That was what Mark was all about. Now I know that we have other people who would like to say something. They were close to Mark, and Doug Stryker, please come up.
Another sunny Friday morning in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We have started Sudoku puzzle. Sliced apples with Brazil nuts. Coffee brewed, another easy Friday morning. And this is not the speech that I should be writing, and this is not the talk that I should be saying. What I should be saying is that I love Mark. I've never seen my mom so happy, so full of life, so with a life partner who fully accepts her, me, my family, and my children. That Mark was one of a kind. Mark was funny, classy, had a quirky sense of humor. Loved doing magic tricks and card tricks with my kids. Loved watching them learn how the magic worked. Did not like the water, but indulged the rest of us at the pool or the beach or the lake. Always working on something thoughtful to give to someone to hopefully brighten up someone else's day. The mugs, the calligraphy, the metal etchings, the butterflies. I have so many things on my to-do list that I should have done. Life gets in the way, they say. Work is busy, I say. Lots of family stuff and kids' activities, we say. Well, what I should have done is tell Mark again how much I love him and how much he means to me and my mom and to Michelle and Elias and Izzy. This letter was written on Friday morning, March 22nd, on a plane to Florida. When I woke up Friday morning a few short days ago, I thought it was the beginning of spring break. Never in a million years did I think that I would have to write this letter today about Mark. I am devastated. Had there been signs, warnings, red flags, health issues, mental issues, we could have talked about it and maybe seen it coming. Never wishing, of course, it ever would. But the shock of his passing is beyond my ability to comprehend. My mom and Mark had a beautiful life together. Traveling, the yacht club. Mark was on the nominating committee. He was involved, a part of something, enjoying life. Creating deep bonds and friendships everywhere they went. Eating healthy, living well. Planning for trips and activities and parties for the near future with their friends in Florida and beyond, and the long-term trip of Italy for their joint 80th birthdays. The last time I was on a plane, besides this week, was on the way home from Africa, from our African safaris and adventures. Mark was the best, always the best. Smiling and happy and embracing of us and the activities, and waking up early to go on the morning safari. Even though Mark had done it 20 times before, his perspective was that today was a brand new day, looking at the birds and the animals through the eyes of our children. That today, any day, is one that should be fully appreciated and loved and enjoyed. Mark always made sure that we were taken care of and happy. Our happiness is what mattered to Mark. And I think he thrived on seeing me and my family, and especially my mom, happy. Mark had a special bond with my children. He loved them both. Mark went out of his way, far out of his way, to create special bonds with Elias and Izzy, and treat each of them with special activities and adventures that only he could come up with. From juicing up the electric cars for the kids, to the jukebox, to handmade, laser-etched water bottles and glasses, to 1,000 other gifts and fun things that were personalized and special. No problems, just opportunities, Mark would say. It made me smile. And now I wish I could hear him say it just one more time. I do not know what opportunity this is today. And if there is one, I really cannot see it right now. I miss you, Mark, and I always will. This letter should be the one that I should have written 3 months ago, saying thank you for Africa and how much I love you. Maybe the opportunity is that I should have taken the time when I didn't think I had it to do the things that I needed to do. And now, I very much regret not doing. An easy Friday morning. Coffee brewed, sliced apples and Brazil nuts. A half-finished Sudoku puzzle. Lives changed, literally, in a heartbeat and a breath. You are loved and cherished forever.
Well said. Somebody else?
Eli Greenberg.
Thank you. So I'm going to start with this. Start with the story. No. I'm going to start with the story. I think many of you probably have similar stories, but when I was 17 and was graduating high school, Mark was living in Denver at the time. The day of my graduation, I got a call from Mark to say congratulations. And it was the 90s, there was no caller ID, so I just assumed he was calling from Denver. And about 2 hours later, with no warning, no car door shutting, nothing, there was a knock at the door, and it was Mark. And he showed up out of the blue because he knew it was a special day, and he just wanted to be there. And I think it was one of the ways that Mark demonstrated his magical ability to be there for everyone, everywhere, living in the moment. In every interaction, Mark was present. He brought warmth, love, positivity, an infectious smile, magic, and humor, lots and lots of humor. I think we all loved Mark because he made us feel so special. He made us feel like we were the center of everything. For me, Mark was an uncle, a role model, and a friend. As a kid, I remember his many visits to Troy, his magic tricks. He taught me how to pull a handkerchief out of my thumb. 30 years later, he taught my daughter, Anna Rose, the same trick because he understood how magic can make kids so excited. I thought he was the coolest person when he'd come and visit. And back in the 80s, he would take us on the airplane before he flew home, and we get to see the cockpit, and we get those cool plastic wings. I always look forward to his visits, the family stories, the practical jokes, his ever-present warmth and generosity. And I think everyone here has their own similar stories about how Mark made them feel so special. Mark also cared deeply about family. I can't think of a single family function that he did not attend or didn't call. Weddings, bar mitzvahs, funerals, birthdays, Thanksgivings. In my family, we like to say that it was due to my wedding to Minda that allowed him to meet Judy. There's a picture from our wedding of Mark in a very dapper suit cutting the challah that caught Judy's eye. And we're happy that Judy spent his last, they spent their years together. And Judy, please know you'll always be a part of our family. The iPhone, thanks to the iPhone, I have voicemails and call logs going back years from all of Mark's calls, messages he left me, and I think it's a testament to his sincere devotion to family. And all the time he spent collecting family history, memorabilia. He's a repository of stories, photos, and lots of mementos. For me, Mark was also a role model. I remember about being 8 or 9, 10 years old maybe, and I was with Mark in downtown Troy. I watched him introduce himself to someone, and he gave him a firm handshake, and he said, "Hey, I'm Mark Greenberg." And I remember thinking to myself, wow, that's how I want to be when I grow up. And I still think about that to this day whenever I meet people. Mark was never afraid to communicate, and he taught me the value of importance of being a good communicator. I once had an issue with a boss in an internship, and Mark pushed me to speak with him head on head. And I made my case, and the boss heard me out, and well, I still got fired. I learned my lesson of positive communication, and I will always be grateful for that. We all love Mark. He lived in the present, and he made each of us feel so special. And I think he'd want to carry on and share his warmth and pay it forward with his positivity to other people. And in closing, I always think of his email signature, no problems, just opportunity, which I think is just a testament to his positivity and brightness. He will be missed. I love you.
Wow, this is a real testimony to Mark. see how his family really cares so much.
Hi everyone. For those of you who don't know, I'm Mark. I'm Ethan. I'm Ethan. Mark. This isn't going to be a very funny speech otherwise, so enjoy it. It's hard to describe just how great it was to have Mark in my life. He was always supportive. He pushed me to be my best me, and he taught me a lot of life lessons. Other than my dad, there aren't many people that I look up to as much as I did my Uncle Mark, both growing up and even more now. Everyone thinks they have a cool uncle, but I really did have the coolest uncle. Mark was always slick, he had funny jokes, and he just had a cool attitude always. He was a pilot, he had planes, and he had sweet cars, but that wasn't the coolest thing about Mark. None of that was. It was that he embraced who he was, and he did it with confidence. I've always looked up to that, and tried to emulate it. Even on tough days, days like today, I think of him, and it helps me stay confident in who I am. Beyond any of that, Mark was a giving man. He always did things with the intent of putting a smile on others' faces, whether that was by pulling a prank, giving a kind gesture, or simply some words of support. He always wanted to find a way to make people happy, and he did it a lot. I have so many memories of my Uncle Mark that it's honestly hard to narrow down just some to talk about today. I remember him holding the Torah during my bar mitzvah. I remember him trying to get me to clean my dad's car. I remember him organizing a surprise 70th birthday party for my dad, all the way across the country. I'm sure everyone here has many similar great memories with Mark, but I think one of the most impactful memories I have was when I got my first sales job during college. I was selling knives, and even though it was just a crappy part-time summer job, he helped me practice my pitch, he gave me helpful critiques, and he even helped show me how to close the deal. He probably spent hours helping me with that, just like he had many other things in the past. And though I was done with that job in just a few months, the things he taught me were instrumental in many of the jobs I've had since. And that's just the kind of guy Mark was. And that's what makes being here today so hard. Saying goodbye to a great person that I wish I learned even more from. But I once heard, no one really dies until they're forgotten. And in that way, I know Mark's impact, with the impact Mark had on so many lives, he'll live on a long, long time. Thank you.
Very powerful. And what Eric said is so true. That you'll always remember, and you'll always have a strong to follow through. You know, like I said before, when something is lacking, you feel it, and you want to bring it back. So, I'd like to continue on now, unless anybody else has something else to say. So now it's customary to say a special prayer for Mark. El Mele Rachamim Shochein Baramim Matzei Menucha Nechona Al Kanapei Ashkina Umaylas Kedoshim Utarah Utrayar Rakia Maskimim Es Mishmas Mordechai Ben Shlomo Shalach Lomo Babor Shanachnu Yisraelim Ba'ad Asperas Nishmaso We got 8 into the Menuchaso Lathem Al Rachamim Yostirehu Say Serkana Pavlelomim Yitzur B'tzura Chaim Imin Nishmaso Adonai Hu Nefalaso Menuach B'Shalom Al Mishkabo Benomar Amen. In English now, what I just said. God full of compassion who dwells on high, grant proper repose on the sheltering wings of your presence in the lofty levels of the holy and pure. who shine as the brightness of the firmament into the soul of Mark, the son of Sam, who has gone to his world and for whose memory we pray. May his repose be in paradise. May the Master of compassion bring him under the cover of God's wings and bind his soul in the bond of life. May the Lord be his heritage, and may he repose in his resting place in peace. And let us all respond, Amen. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to lower the casket. And there's a special prayer I say during this time, acknowledging the fact that God is the true judge. Whatever happened will ultimately bring about. Frank? Thank you. I want everybody to be very careful when we do this. The ground is slippery, it's on a little bit of a slope. So basically, this custom we have adds, we regret having to put dirt on this casket, but yet we know we must. We must have that validation of that what we're doing. So first what we do is go like this, and then we start to begin whichever which way you want. You do not hand the shovel to somebody else. You put it into the dirt and the other person takes it. Okay? Anybody would like to do this?
He's actually my cousin's son.
Yes. Happy with her. Yeah.
She was like this.
People coming to our hotel to do a prayer for Marky. Hi, huh? Hi, Nina. Hello. Izzy was just asking where's all the flowers that Nina did. Said it's at the next place.
They're at a table, yeah.
Yeah.
Their tradition's not that big at the, like even on their services, you have to bring only one flower arrangement the day before. Oh, you know, yours. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, all those things are new to me.
Yeah.
Food's big though.
Yes, food's always big. They like to eat.
Are they going to do that whole look now?
I wouldn't think so. That's not typical, but I guess we'll see. usually finish it after you leave. In Denver, at least, that's what it is. Maybe they just want to cover it lightly. I don't know. How you doing, Mike? It's kind of like the seats of honor. Yep. And that flag is, that was a beautiful custom from the, everyone's fine. Which one was it? I hope so, but I guess not. I don't know. Maybe it was just a flag ceremony. Looks like a weirdo with my scarf, but Tia said you gotta breathe through the scarf. My asthma's been so bad. I'm on prednisone right now, like high dose, and I have to breathe through the scarf because this cold air is not. So I look like a weirdo.
No, I just thought you were cold.
My doctor's like, put a scarf around and do not breathe through that cold air because it'll exacerbate everything. Somehow last spring and this spring I get these flare-ups and prednisone. Do you ever take prednisone? It's the only thing that helps. Yeah. It's not good though.
Yeah. I'm on multiple medications.
Oh, okay. Somebody was saying that you're an epic cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
Not fun. I really put it in red form.
I'm so happy I was able to, 3 times I think. Yes. Talking airplane solutions as a controller and oh my God, he would. Yeah. But yeah, he was extraordinary. You realize how much he did.
When we leave the cemetery, you can put it in your pocket and send it out.
I don't think we ever touched on him being in the Air Force. So stop or something. I don't remember that. I mean, yeah, that's what somebody said. Yeah.
At like 9:50, we went down at 9:10. At 9:50, we got
20 minutes after I left.
Yeah. We
I
inhaled it.
said, I guess the to-go stuff comes out first. I don't know.
Well, you ordered before us.
Gotta order each thing.
People are going to tell you whatever they want to do.
Very happy that
Rabbi Chief.
Well, you guys are pretty much like that too.
Jay.
Is that?
You have cartoons that, yeah, you have cartoons that anyway. What?
Okay.
No, she has only covered she's recovered from the disease, but the medication that they gave her just knocked out the digestive system.
I'm amazed how bright that is.
I'll be upright for a while.
But you said that
Was it a rough shift?
no, it wasn't a rough shift. I didn't go to sleep. It wasn't a shift.
Oh, it could have been a rough shift and you still would have to sleep.
I thought I went to the house across the street like for an hour and a half. The hospital.
Anyone can pop in.
No, I had a key. We have some folks working. There's only 2 bedrooms. Well, it's actually 7 bedrooms. No bathroom, there's 1 kitchen. He was asleep there. Was it in the summer? What is he?
I know you don't. But I'm one of your godmothers. But I don't know which one it is.
Well, we'll share it. No one else is clean, so.
Legally right.
Cars do
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, you know.
My house is so bad, my doctor said when yours is outside, people will breathe through it. Really?
Those there, yeah.
Excuse me 1 second. For the, give people the sheet with the directions on it.
Folks, if I could have everyone's attention for just a moment. At this time, we're going to ask the immediate family to remain here. Everyone else in attendance, we're going to ask to make 2 single file lines that the family will then pass through. After the cemetery, the family will be gathering at the Hilton Garden Inn on Hoosick Street. We have directions and the address for you if anybody needs that. And then Shiva will begin at 5 p.m. tonight at the Courtyard at Marriott, which we also have the address for you as well. So at this time, we'll just ask that everyone could please form 2 lines, and the immediate family stay here with us, and Rabbi will do the concluding prayer.
Is this yours? That's mine. I'll get it.
Okay, we say together. May the omnipresent console you among the other mourners of Zion. welcome you now, Eskan, Sokakari, Abela, Sion, Yerushalayim. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay. This concludes this part of the story.
Folks, this does conclude our services for Mark at this time. I want to thank everyone once again for being here and showing your love and support to the family. Your presence alone here means the world to them. For those of you who assisted as pallbearers today, we know that there was some labor involved, but we know it was simply nothing more than a labor of love. So we thank you for your help today. At this time, the family will now be making their way to the Hilton Garden Inn. We ask you to all please go in peace. Thank you.
Oh, she should not know. I shouldn't know anymore. I had enough already. This year. Only from Sunday. You know what? You've been there. I've met you so many times.
Long time.
That's cool.
Just trucking along the, busy and, we were really busy, yeah.
No, it's
well,
just
we're always a little busy. There's always something going on, but we aren't.
Step school 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We do.
So luckily it was close to some all the way, so we're actually probably not doing too bad.
But not the mountains?
No, they have.
Yes. Because I heard a whole side of it. The Rockies. The Sierra's good. Rockies is good. Yeah, but worry about it.
I'll get it married.
Okay, well, this couple is at the year off.
Over there, but
Oh, yeah, yeah.